Hey, welcome to the Earnings Whisperers. I'm Dr. B.
And I'm Benjamin Poole. We're going to you live.
Yes, live today. We had
That's
a
right.
great day trading, and we just wanted to push it off a little later and go live for you guys. So, we had a variety of earnings this week. Ben's going to pull up the earnings calendar. We'll go over the charts. We'll see what levels hit.
That's right.
And we really didn't take too many trades this week, but
we
our
didn't
levels
actually take
hit.
any trades
that's
this
right.
week.
We didn't.
The volatility was in the mornings, right? For some reason, the afternoon trades, the volatility just wasn't there. And so we couldn't take any trades with the live day trading room. We had like 5 charts pulled up, but none of them hit our levels.
None of them hit, yeah.
However, for our levels, we actually got to give out some levels, and some of them hit. Some of them played out really well. Some of them actually went through, at least one.
Awesome. Let's take a look at the charts.
So let's take the charts. So I want to pull up the earnings calendar first. So this is what we're going to go over. So we're going to start backwards, right? So we're going to start with what happened on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and then Monday. So we're going to kind of work backwards in that regard. We didn't give out any trades after the market on Thursday, just because these were either at all-time highs in like Ross Stores and Kava, or they were just kind of in the middle, and they didn't really give us an idea of the direction, and so we didn't give out any levels. However, after the market, we did go live for Snowflake, Zoom, Wolfspeed, Urban Outfitters. So these were levels that we gave people. And so, and then after pre-market on Thursday, we did AAP, so Advanced Auto Parts. And Dr. B is actually going to pull up that chart, AAP, and kind of show you what happened in the after hours, in the pre-market on those levels that we gave out.
Awesome. So Ben, here we have AAP, and I'll just take my VWAP off there. You can see here that we had earnings right here. Initially, here was the close right here, okay? The close was right here. We had a tick upwards from about 62 to around 64, 65, and then we had a huge fall. Now, where was your first level, Ben, that you put out?
So my first level was actually right at 53.18.
53.18, so somewhere about here, right? Here was your first level.
That's right.
Okay. Where was your next level?
51.91.
51.91, so right about here, okay?
Next level was 50.78.
50.78, so somewhere around here. Okay.
And I'm just going to pull this up so that way you guys can see, like, this is what our earnings traders get, right? So here was the first level. Right here, 53.11, 51.91, 50.78, 49.73, and then the last level was 58.11.
So 49.73,
and then 58.11.
48.11, yep.
48.11.
48.11,
yep.
Yep. So really, so you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries on this stock, and so where's your average? Any idea? It's right here, right in the middle, so long as every single one of these entries was the same size. So if your average is right here, and you had all these levels that hit, right, you could have taken profits up in here, here, okay, or even here. So that was those are awesome levels that you gave out, Ben. Now, we didn't take that trade, but still, you can trade these once you learn how to trade in the earnings time frame. You can make money doing this.
So I actually gave this out to the traders, and I put in the notes that if we get, because of the size of the drop, if we get a 10% move off of the overall drop, I'm going to consider this a win. And so what happened? Earnings fell right into that first level right here. We got a huge bounce. This is about a 4% bounce. Now, I'm not saying that you would have taken that all the way and gotten 4% on a day trade. However, you take 1 to 2% on a day trade size of trade, and that's still a victory, right? And then as you go into the rest of the day, maybe because it already hit the first level, you don't take that first level. You wait for a pierce. And then, oh my gosh, you start going down a little bit further. This final level, well, you dollar cost average, like Dr. B says, if you don't take this one, your average is about right here. And then you can take a profit at this level, at your second, or excuse me, at the first entry. And so this is how you navigate the charts with a trade like the ones we give you. And not all of them work out. Now we'll go over Zoom. Zoom, it was a rocket ship, and unfortunately we weren't able to capitalize on that. But we'll go into that one as well.
Awesome. So what's the next chart we're looking at, Ben?
So the next chart we're going to look at, Baidu didn't really do anything, so we're going to stay away from that.
Okay.
URBN we gave out for a level. However, that was only during the live trading. So some of these charts we give out that are specifically for movement plays during our trading events. So like Zoom and Wolf and URBN, we gave out levels, but those are only the ones that you were going to take with us. So the next one that we're going to go over is, let's see, Snow, S-N-O-W.
S-N-O-W, okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. So let's take a look at Snow here, and you can see the 10-minute chart on my screen here. There we go. So you can see the gap down. This is regular trading hours. I'll switch over to extended trading hours. And you can see here that the earnings obviously came out right here, right? So here was the earnings. You had a big fall in Snow. Tell me, Ben, what were the levels?
So the first level was 114.95.
Okay, 114.90. Let me just see here. So 114.95. Put my first level there. All right.
So this one actually didn't play out, like as you can see in the live day trading room or that same day. It actually waited until today before it actually hit that level. And then you get a bounce off that level.
Right here he's talking about, right? So if you look,
right.
So my line is at 14.93, but it didn't quite get to the 14.95 here. It got very close, and then it came back up. And then intraday here today, it pierced that level and then came back up. So anyway, very interesting. Okay.
All right, so the next one we're going to talk about, that one wasn't super exciting, didn't really move too much on earnings. It was an after-hours trade. So the next one is Zoom. Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom is one that we gave out. It had earnings report. And so here was the first level. So this is one that ran past our levels. It did hit our first level, then our second level, pulled back to about our midpoint, but then just rallied higher. And Dr. B will explain to you kind of why that happened and what to kind of look for if you guys are in the service and trading a stock like this, and kind of where to put your stop outs and stuff.
Yeah, so this is Zoom's chart. I've been watching this for a while, and this is one of the most powerful patterns in the charts. When you have a falling wedge that's bouncing off support, okay, this is support, here's your here's your IPO, all-time lows here, right, here's major support. After a huge fall, when you form this wedge, usually you get a huge move to the upside. And there it is. You can see this huge breakout here on Zoom. So I knew that the likelihood was for an upside move to Zoom. I was being very careful not to be shorting this, but looking at things like the SIR, the short interest ratio. It wasn't that high on Zoom, but anytime you have a stock at the lows of the charts like this, very beaten down, you do have a risk for what's called a knee-jerk short squeeze. Okay. So let me zoom in here to the 10-minute, and I wanted to show you this, this inverse head and shoulders, okay? So if you look, you have an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, and I noticed this right before the close. This had formed right here in the afternoon, and right before the close, look at this, we broke out, we triggered on this neckline, and we started to move up. Now I didn't take the trade, I was considering taking a long on this trade, but look at what happened. Look at what happened here. I'll go to my extended trading hours, and you can see here that Zoom zoomed up, really. Right here. Here was the breakout, right? Here was the breakout. Let me just erase this. Here's the breakout, and look at this, from around $59 all the way up to about $63. It's a huge gain in a very short period of time.
So our first level was 64.63. And this was one that we went live for.
Yeah.
We didn't trade it because it never hit our first level. So Zoom was another one that although the level was given, this is one that we were trading with our members And if we don't take it during the trading day, actually Dr. B had advised them. He said, hey, look, this could be a short squeeze. And so he gave them an indication that there was going to be potential higher move for this. And so although these levels on like AAP usually do play out, as you can see in Dr. B's charts, like I said, they hit the first level, second level, pulled back a little bit, but then just ran through the other levels. And so these particular charts you want to be kind of careful with. We don't explicitly say this is a stop out, but if it continues to run, then you got to manage your own positions and stop out. So if you were in this position and you got into this, then you would put your stop at a close above 67.05 and just say, you know what, this is one of the trades that didn't work out. And this is why I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention, because although the majority of our levels will play out, not all of them will, right? So just kind of wanted to put that out there.
Very good, yeah. And Ben, I think you wanted to talk about one more at least, right? PANW. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about PANW.
Okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
PANW, if you check out my screen here, you can see that it was at the highs of the charts. We were looking for a possible double top here. All right, hang on. Let me just rearrange my screen there. So you can see that we had a possible double top action. Where was the first level there, Ben?
Our first level was 365.92.
365.92. Let's go to the 10-minute, and we'll look on the extended trading hours and just check out that move. Looks like earnings was right here on the chart. You can see right here, initially, so we closed right here. Initially had a big move lower and then a big move higher, and we kind of whipsawed here. When a stock does this, it doesn't really give us the ability to trade it that clearly, right? We really want to see a stock moving up, put in like a reversal signal. We can get in, and then we can benefit from that fall. So, but I don't think that it hit any of our levels, did it?
It didn't hit in our levels that day. However, if you notice, we had 365.92.
So right around here?
Yep, and then 373.57.
373.57,
and then 381. I don't think it ever got up to that level.
No, 381's up here, yep.
All right.
So your average would have, had you taken that intraday, your average is here, and you would have had a nice fall there. What I also see here on the 10-minute chart, what do you see, Ben?
Kind of a
little wedge pattern, right?
Wedge pattern, yep.
Yep, that wedge pattern broke. Pretty cool.
So unlike Zoom, it didn't pierce all the way up to this upper level. Sometimes, like AAP, when it starts flushing, it can get scary. So trying to add to those positions, it can get, like I said, it can get scary. But just know that the levels that we give out favor a bounce, right? At least probabilities dictate that you will get a bounce or a pullback. Unless we advise you otherwise in the live chat, these levels are pretty good. And I think we had 5 or 6 that actually played out quite nicely.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing I want to mention. So on PANW here, you had a time count, intraday, a topping tail, and then a double top with a lower high right here. Okay, there's your lower high. And there you go. You have your fall from about 374 all the way down to about 366 intraday. So that would have been an awesome trade. Ben, I think we gave a lot of alpha there.
So before we go, let's talk about what do we have on earnings next Wednesday that we're going to go live with our members.
Go ahead, you pull it up. Tell them.
Nvidia.
That's right.
That's right. All right. So we're going to show them how we come up with the levels. So Dr. B is going to pull it up, and then I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to show you how we calculate our earnings levels. And so that way, if you're not in our trading service or our earnings trader, maybe you could do it yourself. I mean, it's probably more fun to get our levels, or at least get an idea of our levels match your levels. But we'll show you how we do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is the Nvidia's chart here, and I'll just go through on my screen. You can see what I'm looking at. Honestly, Ben, I don't think I would be shorting Nvidia just because of how strong it's been here. Look at this trend line here that I have. I mean, you might be able to get a short off right in there. and then maybe take a quick stop out. But I would be looking to go long, because what you'll have is you'll have a lot of buy the dippers, right? People who have just been trained to buy the dip on Nvidia over the past year or two. And I would be looking at levels like, this August 5th low would be a nice level here. Let's zoom into the daily. You can see there are a lot of gaps here on this chart. Let me go in a little further. So you can see all these gaps in here. I would probably start, this would be a little risky, but this gap right here would be my first level long. I would probably enter again. You have these pivot highs here. All right, all these pivot highs. I would probably enter, again right here on this pivot low. I would enter here, and then I would probably stop out right there. In terms of the short side, you might be able to pull off a double top type short. So again, right around 140. You can add on this trend line, or maybe add here at 145, add here on the trend line at 150, and then stop out there. But I wouldn't be looking to short Nvidia, many times, right? Maybe one or two ads, and that's it.
Yes. So I was going to say the first thing you want to do is you want to look at what the possibility or what the likelihood of a bounce or a fall, right? So you want to check out the implied volatility. Like, what is it expected, or how is it expected to move? Is it small? Is it like 5-6%? Maybe you stay away from it. Maybe it's 10 to 15%. In this case, let's say that Nvidia's implied volatility is about 15%. So what you do is you look for about a move that corresponds to about a 15% move. So for example, Nvidia, if this is it, okay, so 15% move, you've got this gap fill, right? So you want to do it the same day. So Nvidia is going to trade after hours around 420. So 15% move to the downside, it gives you about that gap fill. Now, with earnings, there's no guarantees that it's actually going to bounce off that level. And so what you want to do is you want to continually work and say, okay, well, yes, the implied volatility may be 15%, but where else is there additional support? And so, right, like Dr. B was saying, right here is a gap fill. All right, where else? Well, you've got this green bar low. Maybe you don't put an ad there, but maybe you do, depending on how far away that the price action goes, right? And so then you say, okay, well, I've got this pivot top right here, this pivot top, got this price action right here, and then this green bar candle, it did pierce it on August 5th. However, this is still, because it's back above, is going to be significant support. And so that's what we do. That's how we go about getting our levels. And then we also can use fib retracements as well, like 618s, 786s, 886s, 0.25s. I mean, there's just a whole slew of things. And we like to coordinate those with additional support and resistance levels. So like Dr. B is saying, if we get too close to the top, then and the implied volatility is 15, and this is only a 5% move, we're going to stay away from shorting it. But if it's 25 and you have this upslopping trend line and it targets that, maybe we'll have one entry up there with maybe an additional ad level. But if it pierces that, then we can stop out. Yeah. So that's kind of how we navigate this thing. This is how we bring you your levels. And so these levels, why we say that they're good for for day trading, the earnings, but they're also good support and resistance levels because we've done the calculations based on what they've done in the past, what the implied volatility is, and support and resistance. And so we make sure that you guys are taken care of as much as possible inside of these trades.
That was a lot of alpha we just gave there, Ben. Woo! So let's close it up. Awesome info. If you enjoyed that, please join the Earnings Trader. It's on the Verified Investing website.
And we went monthly. So if you guys want to just jump in and trade for the rest of the month, you can join monthly. We used to have quarterlies, but we wanted to allow you guys
month
to trade.
Month. Exactly. So thanks again for tuning in. And next week, big week with Nvidia. Yeah. We're going live. What is it? Wednesday afternoon?
Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
So the cool thing is, so Nvidia. So the Earnings Trader is $150 for the month. Sometimes you can get a $10 to $15 move on Nvidia. And so if you get a $15 move, you get a $15 pullback, and we hits our levels, and you get $15 of alpha on 10 shares, it pays her the whole month.
Oh, I think there's a member who already made $500 in profit.
That's right.
So he paid, I think he paid quarterly, so $300 for the quarter.
$300.
So he made money for the quarter, paid his subscription for the quarter,
Yeah.
and then made $500 on like 1 or 2 trades.
That's right.
So pretty cool.
So, yep.
Well, hey, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Take care.
Bye.